They are queuing up fast and furious. Let's please now welcome in Alex Albon and James Vowles.
I think he had a great race and he just fell through.
I thought they were going to bring you in with him, and I thought that's a bit brutal for two of the stars, and it's gone all right for one and slipped away for the other.
I think I heard them saying, let's just get Yuki to out before we bring in Williams. But look, congratulations, guys. That is sport, isn't it? The highs and the lows, and sometimes it's a low, like we saw in Australia for you guys, of course, last season. Right now, it's very much a high. Alex, I'm going to come to you. P4 in this race.
I was saying,
P6.
I wish this wasn't the first race, because there's not like the appreciation for a P4. You know, when you're fourth in the championship. I know, but when you grind it out and you've had a tough season and then you get that P4, it's like amazing. We've just gone in and we've come from immediately P4. I am very happy. I'm not saying I'm not, but I don't even know how the race went. I need to watch it back. I need to understand what went on.
It was chaos.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a fluke that you're in P4 because you qualified P6. And James, bringing you in here, this pace is real. Is it Australia specific, or does your car now have a greater operating window at a number of tracks? Is this pace going to stick about?
No, I don't think it's Austria specific. I mean, if I just summarise it, we were actually fast in Bahrain, testing completely different track, different surface. We were fast when it was 48 degrees on track on Friday and fast in the wet on Inters. So there's probably a good mix of conditions where we're okay. We've got to be realistic. I think Ferrari had a bit of a nightmare today, and they have a very quick car in those conditions. But Alex did a great job defending against near enough the whole field behind at certain points and brought us into a fourth place.
Look, we also must talk about Carlos Sainz as well. Gutted for him, just to obviously crash out on an opening race for Williams. He was saying it might have been something with the car. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I think, first of all three different conditions. You saw Fernando as well went off on a similar thing. What we can see at the moment is it was just on an upshift. He wasn't requesting more throttle, and effectively there's a little bit of over delivery of the rear axle just at the point where his rear wheel's on a white line going around that corner. Now, it's not one or the other, never with these things, it's a combination, and it was treacherous out there. But something for us to look into to make sure that in these difficult conditions we can provide a car that's predictable.
Alex, I'm fascinated into your mindset for this weekend, because you said you weren't nervous today.
No.
You said you felt for the rookies because you knew it was tough, and most of them did end up crashing. But how were you so relaxed, starting so high amongst the big boys? You had Lewis just behind you for so much of that race.
Honestly, I don't know. It's just been when you feel like the car's good and you feel like you're driving well, you just feel like you got it covered in a weird way. And I feel like we've had these races before, and I knew that as a team we are good in these kind of random races. We get our elbows out. I think Canada was a good example last year before we had an incident, but for the most part it's an opportunity, and I see it more that we've got the experience over our rivals. When I look at our rookie lineups, there's a lot of rookies coming in. It's opportunity, and that's not to say to discredit them at all. It's just that we know what it feels like to drive in these conditions, and we know how hard it is. And honestly, I was under driving for most of that race because you don't know where that limit is. It's so hard to know when you had a gust of wind or the tyre starts to overheat one corner to the next. It's just knowing how much you're willing to put on the line, and we survived that one and got it through. Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been bitten by you before at this place, so I know how good you are, because this man did 57 laps on a hard tyre back here in 2022, and James knows exactly how much the strategy around here makes a difference. There was that safety car infringement that the kind of the Melbourne gods gifted you back with the safety car. Yeah. How, when you're in that car, when you're on track and the conditions are changing, how do you work with the team to get the strategy calls right? Because you got about 550 strategists in your team, including a team principal.
I don't do it anymore, don't worry.
But to be honest with you, you need help. You don't know what the weather's doing, and the communication is some area that we've always been working on, trying to improve, especially in these kind of interchangeable conditions. Just the relevant information for me. They knew exactly when the rain was going to hit and how hard it was going to hit. I honestly, if you remember on the radio, I was against it. I thought, what are we doing? It's bone dry coming out the pit lane. I was like, okay, we've definitely lost out here. But it was all right, cool. I actually need to go see Charles and give him a kiss.
So there's more than Charles. I'll give you a little nugget. I don't know if you saw in the race, but Carlos was up on the pit wall right beside me. And his insight was fantastic. He looked at the radar and went, when that hits, they won't stay on track. Simple as that. And you could see the big key decision today is, do you stop or not? And you saw the field was split. Carlos's information was key towards this, so it is a group effort really in that regard, and it was fantastic to see.
You're going to lock him down for a 15-year contract, so he's taking down as a strategist after.
He said he was more nervous than he was in the car, being up there. It's interesting.
Guys, we're going to let you go. Thank you so
very
much.
much.
Congratulations. Enjoy this one, and hard luck to Carlos, but I'm sure you'll be back for China.
Absolutely.
And that Williams pace looks real. All aboard the hype train. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thanks so much.